Oh, look, there's already people at my door with torches and pitchforks. Hi, everyone, it's me, Gaming Do. And this is the sequel to one of my very popular videos and one of my honestly favorite videos I probably ever made on my channel. This is part 2 of my top 10 unpopular opinions. And if you thought my opinions in the last video were unpopular, some of these are going to make you want to freaking throw me out a window. But try to respect them at that. I know some of them are going to be really frustrating. But without further ado, let's get on with it. Coming in at my number 10, we have I think Open Season is a great movie. You know what? Everyone loves to shit on this movie, kind of, and say it's among the lines of, well, it's not Sony's worst. It's among, and it feels like a Sony animation movie, and, it's not very good. But, you know what? I say screw that. This movie, it's great. It's fun. It's heartwarming, especially the ending with Boog staying with the animals in the forest rather than going back with Beth. And the animation is pretty good, especially the river scene, which is on the poster right there. But yeah, everyone tends to think this movie, while not bad, isn't good either. I think it's good. It's a lot of fun. I like the dynamic between Boog and Elliot. It's not my favorite movie of all time, but I have to say, it's one of the most underrated movies in my opinion. What am I trying to say? It's not like, oh my god, Pixar level, but for Sony Pictures Animation, honestly, I maybe only think Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse are better. But besides that, I love this film. I can't help it. I know a lot of people don't, but I think this movie is great. Coming in at my number 9, we have I don't think Season 5 is an improvement for The Loud House. I've read a lot of threads for The Loud House saying that everyone thought the season was improving and it is an improvement over Season 4. I don't think so. And I'll give you a reason why. The first reason is because a lot of fans quit the show with Schooled. And it's lucky I didn't. Because last month and the past few months, I came close to quitting the show. I'm sorry, I just don't think this show is any fun anymore. It's just too reliant mainly on episodes about Lincoln and his friends. Also, just the episodes with the sisters range from alright, pretty good, to just downright cringy. And there's some sisters that barely get any focus this season, such as Lily, Lori. They don't really get a lot of focus this season. I understand a little more with Lori because she's gone and she's at college now, but with Lily, I think she could have gotten a few more episodes. She got 2, but it seems like, oh my god, Lisa, Lana, Lola, and Lucy, I think they got way too many episodes this season. And Lynn, too. If we got a few more episodes with, Luna, hell, even Lenny, I would like to see maybe another episode with her. That would be great. But the number one thing I hope they take away with Season 6 is not having so many damn Lincoln and his friends episodes. I know I said in one of my update videos I was quitting the show, but I'm leaning on not now because it's the quitter's way out, and I don't want to be like that. So I will be watching Season 6, but one of my big hopes is that Lincoln and his friends, like, I'm not talking about Lincoln. I'm talking about episodes where Lincoln and his friends are hanging out and at school and stuff like that. I really hope they cut that down with season 6. Though Kernel of Truth is my favorite episode of the past 2 seasons, and I love that. But outside of that, I'm not a big fan of those episodes. And that's why number 9 is the fact that I don't think season 5 is a big improvement over season 4. At least season 4 had more variety with its episodes. Season 5 just seems to be the same damn episodes. Coming in at number 8, we have... Oh, God. This one is going to get me murdered. Number 8, Super Mario Odyssey is my least favorite 3D Mario game. Yeah, I can't help it. You know what? My main problem with this game is that, in my humble opinion, it just doesn't fit in with the other Mario games. It's too realistic. Like, becoming a T-Rex is freaking awesome, admittedly, and I do think the backgrounds are beautiful and the game's graphics are awesome. It's still a very good game, but I wish we would have gotten that with a big open world with the Mushroom Kingdom and sort of have it like, I don't know, Super Mario 64, but with a big open world. Expand the levels of, like, all the levels in that game and all the Mario worlds. I feel like this game's setting kind of ruins it, and why I don't think this is a great game. It's a good game, but it's not great in my opinion because of that. It just doesn't fit in with me. And I know what you're saying. Oh, but the graphics and the gameplay is awesome. I can't disagree with that. I think it's good too, but it just doesn't fit in with the other Mario games, and it's kind of a problem with me. And I don't have much more to say besides that, but number 8 is that Mario Odyssey is my least favorite 3D Mario game. Not my least favorite Mario game, period. I think there's at least 4 or 5 2D Mario games that I consider worse, but this Mario Sunshine, 3D World, 3D Land, 64, Galaxy, they're all better than this game in my opinion. Coming in at my number 7, we have some of Nickelback's music is pretty good. Oh my god. I'll tell you a story. During my freshman year of high school, I was on the bus. I don't think I got a phone until that Christmas, and I think this was in November. So I had my iPod Touch with me, and I listened to some music, and it was Nickelback's Photograph, okay? This kid could apparently hear it through my headphones, even though I didn't have my headphones that loud. He went over the seat, looked at me, and said, "Hey, Nickelback sucks." And I'm like, well, that's your opinion, but I'm not going to stop listening to it because you think so. And yeah, I don't get it. I think some of Nickelback's music is good. Photograph and If Everyone Cared was my 2 favorite songs personally. Now, do I think Nickelback is the greatest musician or band of all time? No, I don't think that's true. But I definitely don't think they're the worst band of all time. BTS. But yeah, I'm just kidding. I haven't listened to any of BTS's music. I don't know. I just think some of their music is catchy, and I like a lot of 2000s rock, and it just gives the vibe of 2000s rock. And that's why I think Nickelback is pretty good, but not great. Coming in at my number 6, we have... I think South Park started going downhill with season 11. Everyone seems to universally think South Park seasons 4 through 19 is like the peak of the show. I will agree with you with seasons 4 through 10. It's not like I think it went massively downhill with season 11. I don't think there was a huge change until season 20. But I started to think it was less and less funny with like the season 11 onward episodes. I don't know what it is. It's got great episodes like Guitar Queero and You Have Zero Friends, but in my opinion, the peak of South Park is seasons 4 through 10. I just love all of those seasons. It's got episodes like Timmy 2000, Awesomeo, Raisins, Make Love Not Warcraft. So many great episodes during that lineup. But I can't name too many episodes I like from seasons 11 to pretty much now that I think are as good as those episodes. With the exception of Guitar Queero and You Have Zero Friends. I think those two episodes are awesome. But it's just my opinion, and yeah. It's probably my tamest opinion and the opinion I'm tamest on, but I just think people are going to be a little more mad about this than the last few opinions, so yeah. Alright, we're into the top 5. Bringing us into the top 5. I think Halo is the most overrated game franchise of all time. Don't get me wrong. I think there are a few overrated game franchises. Another one I can think of that's a little overrated, but it still has good games. A lot of my fans are probably fans of this franchise. Well, maybe I'm a little bit. I'm not a huge fan. It's time for me to come out and say it. I'm not a huge fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. Honestly, I like the movie. That's probably my favorite thing that ever came out of Sonic the Hedgehog. I really love the first 3 games. I think they're so much fun and they're very nostalgic. I used to play them all the time when I was a kid. When I had the collection on PS2, the Sonic collection. But the only 3D Sonic game that I really like is Unleashed, and I tried playing the other ones, but couldn't really get into them. But that's besides the point. At least with Sonic, I like some of the games. Halo, there's not one game I played that I liked. I tried playing the first Halo when that came to Xbox Game Pass, didn't like it. My first Halo game ever was Halo 4. I played that, didn't like it. Played Halo 3, didn't like it. I believe I played Halo 2 also, tried to give that a go, didn't like it. Something about it just gives me this real Call of Duty vibes to where I gotta say, for the most part, there's a couple of exceptions, but I'm not a huge fan of first-person shooters. I'm not really a fan of shooters in general. The Grand Theft Auto series is an exception. I love the Grand Theft Auto series. But really, outside of that, I'm not a huge fan of shooters, and I'm not really a big fan of the Halo series in general. Coming in at number 4, we have... Oh boy, this one is unpopular. Toy Story 3 is my least favorite Toy Story film. I'm gonna have a very similar opinion to Doug Walker. I think it's a good movie. I think it's actually a very good movie. I think it's actually a great movie. But good God, is it just too mopey and sad? And it's like, I get it that Pixar is supposed to make you emotional, But this is the one time I think Pixar went too far to where I couldn't enjoy the movie as much because of how dark and sad it was. Just so many scenes are just sad to the point where you're like, okay, can we have a few more cheerful moments? Like, there is cheerful moments in Toy Story 3, but this is a very dramatic movie. At least with Toy Story 4, it did have some dramatic and sad scenes, but there was a lot of cheerful, good, fun scenes. I had fun with Toy Story 3, but not as much as most Pixar films. I find this one very overrated, and just, if it was a little bit happier, I would have thought it was better. You know what? I know what you're saying. Hey, Up was the saddest Pixar movie of all time. You know what? Yes, it is. I can't disagree with you at that point. But at the very least with Up, most of the movie was cheerful and fun. It's only really the first 10 minutes and like the last 10 minutes that are kind of emotional. Toy Story 3 feels like the whole freaking movie is just... It's not as fun as most Pixar films, and if it was a little more fun, I would consider this movie probably in my top 5 favorite Pixar films, but this remains maybe in my top 15, but there's a lot of Pixar films I prefer over this one. Number 3. I think Spider-Man 3 is good. Yeah, I said it. A lot of people shit on this movie, and everyone thinks, oh, Emo Parker is so cringeworthy and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe a little. But you know what? For the most part, I really like this film. My only huge gripe with this, to why I can agree with everyone that it's the worst Sam Raimi Spider-Man film, is Venom. Venom in that movie, no offense to Topher Grace, Topher Grace just didn't fit as Venom. Not at all. I thought he didn't have his dark, deep voice like Tom Hardy has, and that's what I think of Venom. With Topher Grace, it's just a little bit of a rougher Topher Grace. And you know what? Other than that, I don't have any really big problems with this film. I think Mary Jane's a little bit of a witch, but besides that, those are my only two big gripes with the film. I think the action scenes are awesome. I think Sandman is a good villain. I think Harry is a good villain. I think it's beautifully shot. It's a good movie. It's definitely the worst of the Raimi films, but it's a good movie. Now, can I say the same about The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and that's good? No. I wouldn't go that far, but I like Spider-Man 3. It's not a bad movie. Alright, my top 2 opinions. These are big ones. Coming in at my number 2, I think The Owl House is a bit overrated. You know what? I tried giving this show a watch. Twice. Once in 2020 and once in 2021. I got through the first 4 episodes in 2020, and I think it's a good show, but to me, I'm just not really a huge fan of the setting. I don't know, it's just, I like fantasy, but not really, I don't know how to put it. The show looks nice and stuff like that, but not really a huge fan of the fantasy setting, and honestly, I think some of the characters are forgettable. With my second rewatch, I got a little further. I watched pretty much the entire first season, but I haven't seen a single episode of the second season. Really? I don't know if I plan to. I don't think this show is bad, don't get me wrong. But it's not something I'm dying to see, rather than just, if nothing else is on, maybe I'll watch this. Everyone thinks this show is like the second coming of Christ or something like that, but my opinion, it's just something about it just makes me feel like it's not that great. But here we go. Number 1. This is for all the MCU fans. Everyone loves the shit out of this movie. Everyone thinks, oh, this is the best MCU movie ever. It's so freaking great. Everyone thinks, oh, this is one of the best comic book movies of all time. I disagree. Number 1, my most unpopular opinion on this video, I don't like Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I tried watching this movie 3 times. Once in 2015 when I got it on DVD. I tried watching it again in 2019 before Avengers Endgame. And then I tried watching it in 2021 as I heard it was similar in the action to Black Widow. All 3 times, I didn't like it. I think the action scenes are cool and stuff like that, and the fights with Cap are cool. But the storyline in this film, it's just boring. I'm sorry, everyone loves this film, but I just think it's very boring. Is this my least favorite MCU film? Probably not, but it's probably among the bottom half for me. I'm sorry, everyone loves this film, but I just think it's very boring. It's not a terrible movie, but I'd put it just below enough to where I would say I don't consider this movie a good movie. I think there's just too many boring scenes and the plot isn't that great in my opinion. And this is my most unpopular opinion in my opinion because everyone thinks this is the best MCU movie ever made. And I disagree. I think the best MCU movie ever made, where everything just came together and everyone just went into the same universe. All the characters were together. It had damn near perfect action scenes. It had a great villain. It's Avengers Endgame. Endgame is my favorite MCU movie, and probably that's in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I adore Avengers Endgame. Still, it's my favorite film of 2019. But I'm not a huge fan of Captain America the Winter Soldier. I'm sorry, guys. Well, that's it. Unpopular Opinions Part 2 is over. I hope you guys liked this video. I'm pretty sure that's going to be it for tonight, guys. Tomorrow, there might even be as much as 3 videos, as I got a lot of videos planned, but if we only get 2, I promise I'll upload some of those videos next week. And, yeah, that's about it. Gaming Do here. See you later. Bye.